Hello and welcome back. In our last video, we added a few fields to our purchase order form, which you can see here. Whilst this looks fine, we should probably change the layout to be a bit more readable to users. Before we start, there's a couple of interesting layout features I'd like to take you through first. By default, all new entities have two pages, the singular item page and the list page. The list page shows all purchase orders in a list and lets us configure its layout to display data that might be useful in this view. In the advanced learning path, we'll take you through how to configure that list page. For this learning path, let's focus on configuring the layout for a single purchase order. As part of tracking purchase orders, Stationery Inc. receive delivery receipts. Typically, these are in the form of a PDF file that they scan in. While there are several approaches to track files throughout Rapid, because this is so front and center, let's add a file browser directly to the page to make it obvious for users. To do this, first remove the universal link and activity feed components from the page by hovering over each and pressing the X button. Next, click the plus button on the grid layout container to start adding a component to the container. Select the file browser component and hit add to add it to the page. Finally, you can drag the file browser component to be adjacent to the form component. Let's stretch it out a little. Next, I'd really like the date and amount to be next to each other. Let's scale and move them adjacent to each other now. I'd also like the description to be beside the information rather than underneath. To do this, we need to create another form, so I'm going to remove the description field and add another form to the page now. Even though we remove description from that form, it still exists as a field that we can add in later. With the form component added and nestled between our existing form component and file browser, let's add the description field to it and expand it to fill the space. Finally, we can give each form component a title to help visually break up the page into different sections. Now, Stationery Inc. are frequently on the go and often view their purchase orders on an iPad as they wander through the warehouse. So far, we've only configured the layout for desktop, but we can use the layout view and toggle between mobile, desktop, and tablet views. Select tablet view and rearrange the components to better fit that work environment. Nice. The last thing we're going to do is hide the file browser on mobile view. Now, switching between tabs is a lot easier. We don't want to delete it as we still want it on the other layout. So hit the I whilst just in the mobile layout and click on it once. It'll hide it for just that layout. By default, the Files tab is added to components but not enabled. At the top, select it and then press the Show button. This will enable it for all layouts. Awesome, we set up our purchase orders form. All that's left to do is to add it to the menu so users can actually start working on it. Head over to the next video as we cover the navigation menu.